and they were celebrating their 30th anniversary to Singles Outreach. Congratulations go out to them. Jason Planck, we see him on the city council meetings. We see him as an advocate for disability and many of the issues surrounding that area. And we've got him on the show today to talk about it. Hey, Jason.
Well, thanks, Ann, for...
And thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for allowing us to at least let you know about October is Disability Employment Awareness Month. It was first done in 1945 by President Truman. And then in 1960s, JFK incorporated it to not just physically, but to all types of disabilities. And then about in the 70s, Congress enacted it for the whole entire month. And basically, it is to bring awareness to the plight of unemployment for persons with disabilities. We have, in this state, about 70% unemployment. Schenectady County would be the worst county in hiring persons with disabilities.
It's the worst, did you say?
Yes.
Did I hear you say that?
Yes, it's the worst.
Why is that?
It's just the policies and procedures within this county. This capital region is also one of the worst for hiring persons with disabilities.
Is it that there aren't many people with disabilities?
No.
Okay.
We're one of the highest. Matter of fact, in the city, we have about 22%, or about 14,000.
Now you're talking vision, you're talking physical, you're talking about mental, okay.
Cognitive,
okay.
The whole entire gamut.
Okay.
We have about 14,000 in the city of Schenectady. And if you go countywide, it would bring it up to about 26,000.
Is it that high? Oh my
goodness.
Yes.
And we represent about 20% of the population. The other major problem that we've got is that in the 1990s, the Americans with Disabilities Act came in. Here it is 23 years later. We still have problems of accessing the businesses. And if you take a look at the economy of discretionary income for persons with disabilities, it's about $180 billion. If you add our...
And so you're cutting that right out from if you're a business person.
Yeah, you're losing out on that.
What are the problems? I mean, I know that most places, if you look, the curbs are, you can get through the curbs. And most of the doors are wide enough for a wheelchair or some kind of transport chair. There's usually elevators, but not every place has an elevator.
No,
and it's an expensive thing to put in.
Yeah, less than $1,000 normally will do it. And then also too, the IRS comes out with a $10,000 to $15,000, depending on where you range at, of an architectural barrier removal credit.
See, I mean, that's really great.
Right. I mean,
are people aware of that? Do you think?
A lot of people are aware of it. It's just that they're not moving forward, and I think that's reason why we have October Employment Awareness. It is to bring it out. We're not here to chastise or to criticize anybody.
Encourage.
We're trying to encourage. I mean, when you're talking $180 billion worth of discretionary income and we're 70% unemployed, and then when you add our friends, our business associates that do it, we're equal to almost $1 trillion worth of discretionary income. And you want to, take that money and say, no, I don't want it? I mean,
They don't. It's probably what we're talking about is awareness.
Yes.
To get the word out, to make people understand that because you can't move your legs doesn't mean that you can't do a job, or maybe you can't hear, but there's other jobs you can do. There's so many things. And I have a grandson who has a disability, or we call it an ability because he pursues other things.
Right. You take the word dis out and put the ability. And I think we had a video.
Yeah, so let's take a look at that. Yeah, we're trying it. There it is, yay!
Plenty of employees that you could label as different, like Tom. Happy and capable.
It's open kimono time!
Looking good, Dan.
Now we want to make
Volume control syndrome. But we focus on the talent and skill that each person brings to the team. I mean, no one's really concerned about labels. Not even mine.
Labels get in the way. Disabilities rarely do. Visit thinkbeyondthelabel.com to evolve your workforce.
Yeah, and that was a commercial that Think Beyond the Label did. And it talked about that it's not the disability, it's the ability. And if you take a look at some of the different things of way of thinking, most people are, when they do a job, as a business owner, it's this way, this way, this way. And if they can just open their eyes up, just adaptable, and take a look at it.
Maybe you need a larger screen on your computer.
Right.
Or maybe you need just better lighting.
Right.
so that you can see better. If it's your vision is a
Right.
problem. And hearing, we can augment hearing. I mean, there's many things that we can do. And I noticed earlier in the show, I mentioned the NABA is having their low vision tech
Correct.
thing. So there are a lot of tools available.
Right.
That sometimes an employer goes, well, I don't think they can do the job because, but maybe there's a tool that will help them adapt to
Yeah.
it. you
Yeah,
know?
that is done by the Commission on Visually Impaired. And when you go to that fair, I mean, there are, as simple as an item as a little magnifying glass. I mean, what is $2-3 for a pair of magnifying glass to help somebody to be able to
See a little bit better.
see a little bit
and
better.
then you can get the ones that kind of come down, and then you can just move the thing under it. So there's so many tools. So don't. I know that people get concerned, that when they find out that they may have a disability, or because of an accident, or whether just physically illness. There's a lot of tools out there, and I think that Jason, he's so good at trying to bring awareness, and I'm always pleased to be able to give him a voice on the show. So we need to tell people to go to these fairs, find out, and get the employers to go to the fairs.
That's the whole key. And then also, too, is another good website. There are several good ones. One of them is Job Accommodation Network, and that's called JAN for short. And you can actually plug in, they'll have, like you could say, like a restaurant cook, and the person is in a wheelchair. It'll tell you, hey, why don't you look at a stand-up wheelchair?
A stand-up wheelchair?
Yes, a stand-up wheelchair, and you can actually
You're at a higher level.
You're at a higher level.
Yeah.
And then there are some wheelchairs that have a scissor lift, so it actually scissors you straight up. So there's different ones. Then you also got the Department of Justice's website, which talks about free online course to teach on disability sensitivity. They also have a marketing to persons with disabilities on that website. Then you also have what are called the Deep Tech Centers. There's 10 of them. Cornell Center's one of them. And also, too, you also have the U.S. Access Board. So there are several different government websites. And then also, too, you have section 508.gov, which deals with your website. So if a hotel needs to make sure that their website is accessible so that way people can be able to do it. They're saying over $2 billion that are done for hotels for traveling for persons with disabilities. So there are many different governmental websites that are out there that can give you free information and free training.
So don't sit back and say that there's nothing you can do. If you're an employer, you can do something. You can be part of the solution and not part of the problem.
That's correct.
Right? So if you're an employer, think about this. And he's given us some great websites you can check out. And you can always get a hold of Jason Planck somehow. You go to the city council meeting, you're usually there, right? You're there.
Or the county legislature.
Or the county legislature, he's always there. Jason Planck, we're always pleased to have you. Come again.
Yeah,
because
thanks.
you do such a great job at making awareness.
I appreciate
Good,
the
thank you.
thoughts.
Good.
Thank you.